to start off by saying we are being recorded. So I would like to, I get my agenda here. Well, maybe. So, just as a reminder to everyone that, just to keep the meeting going and smooth and fluid, if you could raise your hand if you have a question or comment, and I will try and direct all of the traffic. Okay? So, that would be great. And same for all of our participants. And I see Mary Ellen. Thank you again for coming, Mary Ellen.
It's my
Okay.
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Very good. Okay, so I would like to start off with questions or comments from the public. And
No problem.
Mary Ellen, you are the only one. Do you have a comment or a question?
Not at this time. Thank you, though.
Okay, very good. Well, I would like to start off our meeting just with a general statement for our committee and for the public. And I'd like to take a moment and share some thoughts as it relates to two petitions filed on January 30th, 2023 by Peter Lagoy and friends and associates, acquaintances, whatever. So the Trails Management and Coordination Committee, commonly known as a TCMC, recently applied of just for under $50,000 to be used for
Everybody
engineering
up here, sorry.
for what we refer to as the Western Alignment, and could be an alternative for our segment 7, which I feel in my heart is the subject of these petitions. So if approved for this $50,000 for the TCMC at town meeting, this work could begin as early as July 2023. In addition, the TCMC also voted to spend $5,000 from their budget for engineering studies for a bridge crossing at Route 85 near the Milford Upper Charles Trail parking lot. Both of these studies are essential to the Western Alignment, as it has been explained to our committee. This committee previously decided to hold off on any decisions regarding segment 7 until the engineering studies of the Western Alignment are completed. So Mr. Lagoy's actions are perplexing to me, and I have to ask myself, what is the rush? It would seem reasonable to at least wait until the engineering studies have been completed. Then we can all collaborate and make a meaningful and thoughtful and intelligent decision based upon facts. This committee set up a working group to develop our FY23 goals, and as we progress through them, we reevaluate and revise them. In tonight's meeting, you will see some of our accomplishments. And I am especially grateful, and we're all grateful, for our new members with their important involvement. And I understand how challenging volunteering can be, especially when you have a young family. So I want to thank you for all that you are doing to help progress this project that we have here. So having said that, we are going to start off with an update from Michelle Murdoch and our town engineer. Thank you both for coming. Oh, where'd he go?
We'll be back.
Hey, well, Dave will be with us. So thank you, Dave and Michelle, for working so hard to prepare all the documents that you're going to help us get. So Michelle, would you like to start? So I think this is in regards to the public comments request. So maybe that's Dave, and he's getting his phone.
Here he comes.
Oh. Both are working. Okay, and then we'll jump to you. Oh, thanks, Dave. So I was just thanking everybody for, thanking you for coming. So we're up to, number C, update from Michelle and our town engineer, Dave Del Torrio, in regards to public comments request. And would you like to update us on that?
Sure. Hello, everyone. The public comment, the FAQs that we've been sending out. Last meeting, we were working on and finished up the third FAQ document. Goal was to have the fourth one for this meeting. There's just two questions left on that document for it to be completed.
Mm-hmm.
The goal was for it to get sent out to you, Jane, to send out to the committee members this afternoon, but
Well, I thank you for all of your efforts. I think last time we were at like 14 or something. So now we're down to 2 left.
right, we just have to do our due diligence, ensure like we can support all of the responses in these FAQ documents. We're still chasing down some information on for 2 of them just to ensure that, you know, the responses that go out are just fact-based responses and we have proper backup if questioned and when people questions on the responses. So fortunately, we weren't able to, Michelle and I worked on it for a couple hours today to try to track everything down, but we just, Jane, you as well, one of them is involved with the previous meeting, so we've been tracking, minutes and watching the videos and just to make sure that what we put down on paper to send out to the public is.
Well, I really appreciate it, and I'm sure all the committee members do as well as all of the public. So we will patiently wait for the last 2 questions.
Should be tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, great. So the committee members can, and then look forward to that. Okay, so Dave, let's take a question from Jamie.
Thanks. So last meeting, and it's not in the minutes, but I made a note to ask during the minutes. We talked about how there were comments, not just questions, not just FAQs, but there were comments that Dave had said could be uploaded to the website and they would be there. I haven't found them. Are those there somewhere?
We uploaded the public input forms that were received at the senior center workshop. As
No, not just the ones that were in person. There was the online forms too that we talked about.
and we posted the handouts and we also posted the electronic online submittal this week.
So Jamie, to
Where are
answer,
they?
well, you know what? You just segued into our next.
Okay, I just
Get
like
ready.
that no, since the last meeting. I was told they would be there that week, so I kept looking.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for your diligence. We have asked Michelle.
What is that?
Oh, Michelle, you gotta. You just have to hit your.
Thought I had my mic off, don't I?
We have a little echo because you're setting.
Your volume.
Yeah, your mic.
Your mic, yeah.
These guys. I thought I had it off. No?
Select.
Is this off? I can try that.
There, okay.
Success. We are online. So that's a perfect segue into Michelle, who's going to walk us through the website as it is now. So I'm gonna let her take it.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Is it not uctc.hopkintonma.gov? Is there a different website I should plug in? What, do you want to tell me so I can?
HopkintonMap.gov now?
And I've, hopefully, oh.
We have a screen.
Yes, I think that's the one.
Is, okay, yeah, there's nothing there.
Nothing there.
So you go to, I did it in.
Hmm.
Yeah, we got a great website. We got the town engineers.
Right. Right. And the assistant.
Trying to figure it out.
Okay, so it's on the screen.
Maps.
So that's the town website that's being shared on the screen.
Yeah, it's on the thing.
Okay, so to reach the UCTC, you go to departments, you cover for now. Just go around here. Cover Charles Trail. Okay. So at the top of the page is the charge of the committee. It lists Jane as the chair. And if you scroll down further and you click on this one, this takes you to the member roster,
No wonder.
which will, provide everybody's term when it expires, that type of thing. People that want to see that, we can go back to the main website. We have one photo up. For your eventual comment.
Is that me?
Yeah, Bob,
Yeah, there you are. So,
Bob and Ken.
Yep.
I think Cynthia's. Okay,
These links here are the public input form, which is still live, so if you click that,
can you pull that up and show it to us,
it's
Michelle?
coming up, here you go.
It's showing it different.
Well, it's gonna show.
So I have to go, so I have to go to
Couple
that,
different
this one. Where is it?
That's not coming.
So you just do share.
We'll never figure this out.
It's coming up, Jamie.
Yeah, it's just, so should the old site be shut down?
Yeah.
That's,
I thought it was.
it's
Not yet. It's
Okay,
supposed
so
to-
this is the input form for just general overall. You can
Any
comment about anybody, so this is still open, so anyone can still, you know,
So you just have to.
and
scroll
get
through
involved
and
in this.
Rate the segments. General thoughts and comments. Provide your email if you're interested. And,
What happens, excuse me, what happens if you do provide your email? What would we be delivering
So,
to people?
I think there's a box that asks if you want to be added to the list.
yeah, you can, yes, that's the one at the bottom.
They provide their email, then we add them to the the project list.
Notification.
Right, it adds automatically too. We don't have to do anything. It just automatically goes into the.
Yes, Scott has.
What did they get notified of? A new submission from someone else?
No.
Is it just on our distribution?
It's
How?
automatic process. If a notification goes out from the project team or from the committee, we will coordinate with IT to send it to this particular list and that particular list, or the Hoffman user. Publish it on the website. So it's a
It's a
big-
distribution list that I guess only we manage. Is that like our agendas and everything like that?
Michelle.
IT manages it really. So, it's a, see,
You can sign up on the website, you can sign up to.
Okay, same list. Okay.
correct.
There's also a different list on the website to sign up for all of these.
Right, like hot notes and so whatever, but there is a specific one for just UBC. Right. And then
Jane,
by IT.
excuse me, Michelle, through you, Jane.
Yes,
Michelle, is there a corresponding map to help folks know what segment 1 and segment 5 is?
It's,
Is it
so
nearby?
it's a link.
well, let's go back.
a link up
Let's
there.
exit out of this and let's,
Oh, hold on.
Is it? Yeah.
Hold on.
It would be nice.
Click on the link, it will bring up the overall map that was presented at the workshop.
Okay. All right.
We need to have two windows, two screens, because the corresponding chart right below it with the check marks, that corresponds to that map. So
right.
not part of when you click on the form.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
There's a link in the form to get to that plan.
Okay, because folks would really need to,
created for the members. Would you like to see that link somewhere in addition?
I think a map embedded onto the screen would make sense.
like, yes, yes,
What IT
for sure.
told us we could do, right?
But it's less than helpful unless you can see right here what segment 5,
Let's go through the rest of it and see,
definitely. Thank you.
people write down their thoughts. and
Yes, excuse me.
What's next?
Okay, so now, I'm gonna get back to my. I just click
Back
that.
You gotta go share. And,
Oh, I should go back to this. Okay, now we're back there.
Did that. The second link,
This link,
can you open up that one?
I can,
but that link is,
but that's sort of a separate one. There's a better,
that link will bring you to all the documents that were presented at the public.
Right.
All the ones that we had boards for, all the ones that we had laid on the table.
Well, is that in, would you like to see that opened up? No? Okay.
I've looked at all those. It's the,
right,
the,
but
the
it's like that.
Okay.
old website. Is that supposed to be dead?
Yes,
Okay, it's not.
Yeah, old website has nothing to do with the town.
it wasn't a time.
Correct.
So the
It's,
members.
it's a
themselves,
.gov.
Regardless of what it is, the town is not affiliated with that
It's not
website.
part of the Hopkinton.
The members of the committee themselves created the website.
So who owns it then?
Oh, Upper Charles.
He owned it.
So then should we be disbanding that website
Yes,
so that
we
it's
should,
not?
but I think it's, we don't know how to do it because the company that owned it is no longer in business. So
They've got servers up that are up and running.
Right.
Something.
I want to just decommission it. I can ask the IT director for instance on how to do it.
I think that would be less confusing if we did.
It seems like having
Definitely.
sites is a bad idea, although the map on the old site is much better than the maps on the new site.
Do it. I don't know enough about.
Cause I don't
think
even,
Eli, when we tried to decommission it before, we found that it was problematic. We couldn't reach out to the right people.
I have a contact, if we can decommission it.
So can we Kate with Dave?
I think I can do it on the moon.
Okay,
If you need assistance from Josh or from the town,
okay, so Jamie has a comment.
so the map that's on the old website, that is much better than any of the links on the new website.
Well, we haven't gone through all the.
Okay, so we
Okay.
don't want to decommission it first because there may be some valuable information.
It's an image, so in theory, someone has it.
Check,
I mean, I can.
might have
see it right now.
downloaded everything from that website
Perhaps we should,
that I did a while ago.
Know what's going on.
we're all, yeah, I know, we're also curious. I've been waiting to go to this, but we should all, myself and let Michelle go through it. And as Jane said, write our little questions and go back over it. We have time to do that, do we?
Yes.
I hope so.
So that's the second link and that would bring you to the photos and maps.
Stop sharing.
also just share your screen. again. Put it on the bottom, share your screen.
Dave, why don't you just pull your chair?
Here on the side. Usually pretty good.
You go back,
shared my.
if you go back to the meeting.
Yep.
And then you share it.
You have a work meeting to learn how to. do this.
Let's get
You're
through
gonna
the,
work slowly. Our whole meeting.
Cheers.
all right, Jim, thank you for joining.
Hi, I've been here for a while.
I know, I
Being
just,
quiet.
it's the first time I've had a chance to say hi. Is
Hi,
there,
I'm trying to sign in my laptop too. so
Yes,
I
that's
can-
okay, you gotta go back.
I gotta keep switching, okay.
It's the clunky system.
okay, so now we're at the next,
Okay, and then down here at the bottom. There are various links, you see trail of alignment, reports and evaluations, shared use paths. Public outreach, Q&A and miscellaneous talks. So,
Under the public outreach.
Yep.
In workshops tab is where we posted. What I think Jamie was asking, the public input forms.
I found them. Yeah.
It was an old stuff. That's neat site.
Question about that.
okay. Do you want to go through the next one?
all right, so if we go to line,
Share, because it doesn't show until. you-
yes, go ahead, shared use path, yep. Anyway, there we go. So there's a variety of different plans in here.
The plans are numbered, chronologically.
Is that the ones or the,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One would be the earliest.
Yeah.
Two would be the,
should they be arranged in the?
Are these the VHB studies?
these are any plans that we could gather that showed trail line. And we put them earliest to most recent.
So now.
Try to go to the links up top. That's what I'm trying to, yeah, it'd be easy.
Michelle, is there any content that you didn't download from your own website?
I'd have to go and look. I don't remember. I did ago.
Michelle and I both downloaded it. Michelle downloaded the most. I went through every link and every tab and every picture and transferred it to the town website. We have a folder that's not public facing. That is the old, I call it the old Upper Child website. Everything is in there, even the stuff that we make public on the town website.
All right, so what which one did you just click?
And I can offer you, we can sit down and go through it together. Before
Yeah,
we
so those,
do anything with the old website that you would prefer. Or just send you the link, send everybody the link to the old website folder.
so once you click public outreach off the town website, you end up, most of this stuff is all in Google Drive. So there are press releases, workshops, and presentations. So if you look at workshops. Now I have to show this one, right?
If you can't go through. No problem, yeah. If you want to try something different, let me try.
I have to hang on, so
Share with me,
where is that?
right there, click on the UCT project. To the right, right there. So those are the tabs that are on the main website, yeah. Plans. The shared use paths, public outreach, the Q and A, and missing out. Those are the tabs the links you'll find on the website. Each one of those contains, in summary, what the title of the folder is. I'm not sure we were really prepared to open up every one of these and have questions in the answer period, but we could do that, or, maybe if everybody knows how to get there through this meeting over the next couple of weeks, look through those folders and look through the website, and if you have questions or suggestions,
Right.
this was just put together from us, just based on the information we have, and the information that came over from the old website. We've never actually had to sit down and asked or been asked from the committee, how do we want to set up our webpage? We can have a workshop on that, give you folks some time. I will tell you the town's gonna roll out a new website. It looks similar to this. So right now, they're really just bringing over the information. So even if we have that switch over between now and the next meeting, we'd be able to maybe invite IT to one of these meetings and say, can we do this? Can we do that?
Yeah,
Like to
because-
Jamie's question.
Okay, so I think we have a general idea of where the town is. So if I could get everyone's, I think we have a general idea of where the town is right now. I get the sense that this project with the town IT is not completely finished. So can we say that everybody is kind of general, a little bit familiar with it? Maybe we can all fiddle around with it and then come back and revisit it in a bit.
It's not gonna change significantly. So
I
the way when we looked at it, I think the actual, like the front page of the town website is gonna look slightly different, but like I said, the way the town website works, and I don't believe it's something you can change, is that all the documents are stored in Google. correct, Elaine? Yeah, so once you click and get taken to a drive, you're now in Bloomington.
But I think, excuse me, I think Josh said that we have the opportunity to create some pages and maybe organize it different or bring some material.
Yeah, there are different
A level or, you know, so I think,
levels here, but yes, that could be.
so we do have that opportunity.
So
but-
look at the one we're in right now, which is the workshop was held on April 13th. What is in here is all the information, the press release, everything that went out with it. These are some of the boards that were added, form that was offered, and then, as Dave mentioned, these are the input results. When I click this, it goes.
It's behind the scenes.
I can't do it.
Okay, well, she's figuring that out. Does anyone have any other questions?
In that folder
Uh,
would be the forms.
Okay. Yes, Jamie.
So the public input forms that are here, that now I see, not on the old website that's still active, and I really like the map that's on that one, and I haven't yet found that one in this. But, so there's 64 pages of online submittals and 37 pages of in-person submissions. Have those results actually been collated at all?
Yes,
Is
Yes.
that here somewhere?
Yes, in the
Where?
same folder, there's a summary of results, public input form results summary document. And that was presented to this committee. I don't think we were here yet when we did present that. So, yeah, under the workshops, the public outreach.
Right? It has been here. Public outreach. And then the April 13th workshop. And then it's not in the public input form results? What's it called?
Outreach. I'm just going through.
I'm sorry, I didn't think I was asking. I apologize.
13th workshop,
Yep,
public input form results.
correct.
And then Upper Charles Trail Committee public input form results. There's the PDF that's,
okay, but that's just the checkbox.
nope, that's the results of the forms.
Right, a check from the check boxes though. This is one page.
Yes,
Okay, because there were comments. So to see any of the comments, it's scroll through,
if
like the written.
that were written on the hard copy forms.
All right.
There's written comments and typed comments. So I'm just, was that collated or no? That's just
Comments from where?
from the online submission forms, the public feedback forms.
So-
that are online.
The hard copy PDF includes all the hard copy forms and all the handwritten.
Right.
The online,
No, I can open it. I was just asking if they're collated. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
the online form, the 64 pages, those are what was submitted online.
Yep,
Every submission is 4 pages.
yep.
In there, if somebody wrote a comment,
Yeah.
it's in that.
Oh, okay, so those aren't collated. Those are just in the original forms. That was my question.
Yes,
It was, did you?
So-
The comment.
Right, so I personally will spend some time taking the comments out and collating them because I think that is useful information other than the check boxes. Like, I think this is helpful, but I think it's also helpful to actually be able to read the comments together instead of scanning through 37 pages or 64 pages. I'm happy to do that. I will do that
When you say collate, you mean just compress
together so you can actually read.
them from one?
But are the comments not directly relevant to that particular form and how they, let's say somebody ticked off?
Okay, we have a lot of back and forth
Okay.
going on here, so,
Jane,
why don't we, that's a very generous offer for you to do, Jamie.
Sure.
And after that, why don't we take a look at it and see,
Right.
see what
where we
we've
can
done
go
with
from
them.
there.
Yeah,
There are not a lot, I will tell you that.
I just read a bunch, so I don't know.
But I'm just saying, out of all the,
Okay, what's a lot? Is there a number?
it's definitely less than 50% on the forms. But feel free to look.
Okay.
I'm just saying that
We just scrolled through and there were a bunch,
but
there were like more than 20.
there aren't as many, there was a significant amount of stuff submitted without comments.
Sure.
So
Okay, so why don't we revisit this at the next meeting? Is that too soon?
No,
question.
Okay, Ken, sure.
So there's public commentary available, say, the Hopkinton Independent. Is it relevant for us to consider that as separate commentary or do you figure that that?
Oh, I think that that would be over and above what we would be expected to do. Because it's not anything to do with our committee or the town.
I don't know about that.
It has to do with the independent or the various news outlets, but maybe somebody could volunteer to go back and get them, but I'm not sure that.
I'm just thinking we should be aware of what's available that way because it's probably a lot easier for somebody to look at the search button on the Hopkinton Independent.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some
I don't know. Would you
commentary.
like to volunteer to do that?
Sure, I'm happy
Okay.
to take a look at them.
She needs to pull in her share. You could do that.
And I
Yes.
just have a comment on that. I think that the public is looking for transparency from us. The Hopkins Independent, to me, the media is transparency. So that's my 2 cents. I think, take it whatever direction you want with the Independent. But my 2 cents is that's already out there in the public.
Yep.
People can find it and read it.
I agree.
They're asking for information that we may have received to create that transparency.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You said it much better than I did.
Is it worth, David showing them the Q&A notes?
Wait, it's not? Yeah, you can find them.
So they're up there now. So right now we have 3 in there and we have 1 more coming probably tomorrow. And
All right, I think we can agree to move on to our next.
well, I was gonna there are comments in some of these, or some summarization of topics.
I would, bring it to.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know,
I think we'll continue to work on it. We agreed to put this on topic for next agenda, so we can continue that next time. So I would like to move on to the working groups report, and I'm gonna throw this out to Scott.
Thank you, Jen. So I'm reporting out on a working group meeting that we had, on 30th. And the working group, as a reminder, and for those in the audience online, the working group is to increase the community engagement. And, it's one of our goals for the fiscal year is to increase the community engagement significantly greater than what we have to date. And our plan and agreed approach is that we're going to, and we have, identify a list of groups in the community. A group can be a formal group, it could be a neighborhood, it could be Facebook group, it could be come in any form. And so we've got our initial list of groups, and we're going to continue to expand on that. Our approach is going to be threefold. We have kind of 3 interactions. The first interaction is going to be, we want to identify a primary contact liaison from each individual community group that we've identified that we're going to target. That individual can be an influencer, a leader, they could be an officer, they could just be an informal person that's popular within the group, someone that could represent that group. We want to identify that person. And the first interaction is just requesting a meeting of that person. Simple as that. And it's very brief. Hey, we'd like to, engage with your group. We've identified you as a leader. Now, if they say, yes, I'm a leader and you've identified the right person, great, we got to the right person. Otherwise, they may refer us to someone else and we'll do the same thing. Interaction number 2 is to have the meeting with that leader or influencer. And that meeting is still a relatively quick meeting. The meeting is to ask that person on behalf of their group, if their group is in fact interested in learning more and providing feedback to the Upper Charles Trail Committee. That is engagement number 2 or interaction number 2. If that person says, no, we're not, and they could speak for the group, we'll record it, post it, and move on. If they say, I'd like to check with the group to get their feedback, sure. they'll get back to us, or if they say yes, we would. If they say yes, we're gonna ask them whether or how their group would best prefer to be engaged or interact with us. And what I mean by that is this is the meet them where they are that we've agreed. It could be send a link to the existing form that we have for feedback. I'll forward it to the group. I'll make sure people fill out, send it back. Great. We've got that. It could be posting a letter. It could be pointing to our webpage. It could be posting something on our Facebook page, or it could be something a little more involved, like meeting with their group if they have a regular meeting or have a special meeting where we present and discuss. That's meeting number 3. Was everybody clear on that? For the folks that are in the working group?
Questions that are in the working group? Okay.
Soon got 2 people here that want that.
I know, it's a pretty big group, but I just want to, for the folks on the phone, and it's recorded on HCAM. So for that purpose, we record that on HCAM. And so at that point, from the groups that we receive feedback that we engage with, we're going to then play that feedback back to that group to make sure that that leader only to represent, that it represents their feedback, take it back to the UCTC, discuss it as a group. At that point, once we feel like it's accurately summarized and representing the feedback, we will then publish it to the public, which comes back to what we discussed a few minutes ago. We can find a good place. We'll bring it to a higher level. We'll make sure the link is there, and we'll certainly publish the heck out of that to the general public to make sure that they know that feedback is there. And we'll continue to do that cycle. Okay? Make sense? And then,
And thank you. I want to thank you for spearheading this. It was very informative and I thought we made a lot of good progress. My question for you is, what is the ask for our committee as a whole, or what is our next step?
great, thank you. Good segue. So for those on the phone, I've handed out to the group here, and I can give Elaine a copy, the current list of community engagement groups. The list has, I don't know if anybody's counted them, I'm guessing about 18 or 20 different groups on it. I'd like the group, the UCTC here, to provide 2 things. And I don't think we need to take the time to go down today, but you can email through Jane or directly to me. Tell me if you know of anybody that could be an influencer or leader within any of these groups. Please send that name to me. Second, if you would like to volunteer to be the person on our committee to do the outreach that I described, ask for the meeting, take the initial meeting, and then ultimately, if they say yes, engage with that group. If you'd like to be that point person for UCTC, please let me know. Okay? And then lastly, the list of groups is evolving. It's never ending. We'll get referrals for others. Some might say no, some might say you got to talk to this group. If you have any group names, let me know. Don't get hung up on that. We're gonna, like I said, it's gonna evolve. So with that, I'll either ask for questions or hand it back to Jane.
I just want to make sure we have the bullet points here. So you're asking for more group names and contact names from this
Correct.
group. You're asking if any one of this committee members would like to be the outward person. So that's like a volunteer thing, and
And that's it right now.
so that's like 2 main things.
Yep.
And so is committee clear on that? Do you feel comfortable? This is homework for the group, I think, because we're not gonna take the time now to do that. But again, by next meeting, let's have some significant progress on this. So seriously, members, take a look at this, see what you can do. Email me. I'll try and coordinate this and get that to Scott for those 2 things. So,
So you want us to send,
yeah, send it to me. I will try and put it in some sort of master, or not master form, but I'll
To this.
Pass it through.
just pass it through or whatever. So we'll get this going.
So this is the thing that we'll build.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great.
you can hand it to me at the end of the meeting here,
You can hand it.
and then I'll send the
And you won't
results.
have to bother me or Scott.
I'll send the results periodically through Jane as I get them, as I make up.
Yep,
lists.
and our goal is to get as many names on this initial list as possible by the next meeting. And that was my next.
Give you a target. I'm on there 5 times.
Good.
Okay,
Hey.
good boy. I'm excited about this. So our start date tonight, our start date, as I look at this, is tonight. And we want to do an update by next meeting.
Beautiful.
And we do, thanks, one last, punctuate that. Thanks, Jane, for the urgency. It's been dragging on for quite some
Yep.
time. And the general public deserves it. We deserve it. So we want to begin the outreach as soon as we for that first meeting. So if anybody hasn't been part of our working group, please let me know, call me, and I'll walk you through. We'll do a little role play.
Yeah, I know.
Make sure we have
That
our
was very
stories straight.
helpful.
Thank you.
And Scott, how is this list generated?
We generated at one of our meetings.
Yeah.
For a couple meetings, yeah, and you provided some of the names through email to me.
Okay, this is exciting. All right, working group minutes, Sim, thank you for working on that. Everyone got them? And read through them? And we had a few modifications.
Name corrections.
Let me make a motion to approve it,
Wait a minute, we have.
and then we can have a discussion.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve the minutes as written. Need a second.
Second, so everybody knows I'm here.
Thank you.
thank you, Jim.
Please
Now,
name,
comments.
as long as you correct the spelling of my name, I'm good.
Spell my name wrong.
That's
all the
important.
time.
All
They
right,
put
so,
one T on Sonnet instead of two.
Mhm.
all right, so moving on, now the discussion. So there was a gentleman with us last,
Jim Bright,
right? How do you spell it?
R-I-P-H-T.
Okay, Sim, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, it's didn't help you.
Mhm.
So that was one thing out of the way. What was the other information that we needed?
Spelling and what else?
No, but only
That's the only thing I knew. I didn't know who he was.
location and time.
I added that.
Okay, so do I have a motion to accept the minutes as
I'll
amended?
amend my motion to, it's amended.
Second.
Well, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
All right,
Do we have to do a roll call? We have to do a roll call because Jim. Eric,
Yes,
Bob,
yes,
Ben,
yes.
Jamie?
Wasn't there.
don't have to.
Oh,
And I don't have a vote,
oh,
Yeah,
but thank you.
thanks for waking our chairman. Yeah.
Yes, yes for Scott.
Yes, for Ken.
Yes.
yes for Jane. Okay, thank you. I don't know, Jim, you participate so much, you should be.
Thanks.
I agree.
Okay, so here we are, other working group reports, from our, FY 23 goals. I'm not sure if we have any at this point in time. Let me get my notes out here. Let's. Okay. No, I don't think you had anything else on the. I think that's coming up though. Okay, so, we're gonna, nothing else on the other working groups. Continued discussion in regards to FY 23 goals, and the first bullet item is discussion. What decisions have we made and what decisions are still open? So I sent to everybody a copy of our working groups. You know, that we're working on, and it shows there that we originally voted for them on August 3rd, 22. Then we revised them on December 7th, 22, and then we revised them again on January 18, 23. And we may revise them again tonight. So that's a starting point. That's a jump off point for this discussion. I think Scott wanted this on what decisions have we made and what decisions are still open. So this is a kind of a benchmark. but I'm not sure if you have others.
I think at the time I recall, it was there was a discussion that surfaced and I was more, echoing or clarifying. And I think that if I recall, I don't recall who asked, or who was part of the discussion, might have been part of the public, is, it's not clear which decisions have been made and which ones are still open. At least maybe I think we've talked about maybe just listing them out.
Other than what's on our goals.
In terms of, I think the decisions were around, either segments, routes, missions, things like that. I think it was more just what's open. I think Eric, you would agree to that. Like what do we still have open? So we can refine our focus. And what do we not need to talk about because we've already made decisions on? I don't know if that rings a bell. Eric.
I agree with your intention. But I don't really think there's anything open that needs to be nailed down as a goal. I think that through all of them, we're waiting for this, we're waiting for that, and that's not a decision that needs to be made. It's the working of the goal itself. But I think as far as knowing what the goals are, I think we're there.
I don't think it was in the context of goals. I don't recall that. I'm not suggesting that.
Okay.
I'm saying, and I think I'm agreeing 100% with you, Robert.
Oh,
Well, Jane had tied it with goals as the launching point, but I think the discussion, but I think really the point is, and I agree 100% with you. I think we just want to say, making this up in column A, decisions that are made. Let's not revisit them again. Because sometimes as a group, we either through the public or others, we revisit and do a little spinning, in my words. And then decisions that are open, but we might be waiting for something. There's no reason bringing those up either. I think the point was just to get a little bit more closure and a little bit more focus on the meeting.
Sure.
I agree with you, except that we're a dynamic committee. In that, even though a decision is made, won't stop one of us who doesn't understand the decision from bringing it up again. You can't just say, well, we already did that. It's in the other room.
So for clarification, fair enough, yeah. Again, I think it was brought up and I was more echoing this. I don't think it was my
So
point.
I'm trying to put my arms around how we can answer or address this issue. So let's take our first goal, resubmit the Mass Trails, just as an example. Application for the segment from East Main Street to Hopkinton State Park. So last time it's stated in our goals that we voted on, well, we didn't vote, but we agreed. Delayed in that we can't submit a mass grant until 2022 grant for segment 6 is finalized, and that still didn't work. So I can say we can start our prep work for this pretty soon, actually, because by September, Eli, that's when we've started working on the next grant. So if we know we have to start working on something in September, we can, in the next maybe month or two, decide, looking at going down to number 5, identify those trail route segments that can be immediately entered into a feasibility or pre-feasibility studies. So we could kind of look at that and say, do we want to look at Granite Street down to Echo Trail? Is that a piece that we could apply for Mass Trails grant for? Just as an example. So this could be something that we could put on the agenda.
I don't know if this is my topic, is my point.
Well, this is something that's open
Yeah,
that we haven't started on.
right, but I think.
So that could be a
Yeah,
decision.
I think
Just an
it's
example.
just making sure we're all aligned on, and we want to revisit because people need to be brought up to speed and all, I get that. But I think just having a list of things that are at least previously agreed upon and things that are still to do or open. And if we pull them from the goals, if that's the approach, that's fine.
Sure.
I don't think it's revisiting the goals. I'm with Eric. We've already discussed a lot and I agree with all the goals. So I don't think it's revisiting and rewriting goals.
So do you have an
Let
example
me give you an example.
of what we need?
Now, let me tell you how to think this. You've got the goals. under each goal, reformat your thing and have status. And then right here, what we just said, so that we can all look at that and say, okay, we know it's
Still open.
still, you know, and it'll all be contained there. And when a question comes up and when we decide on future meeting things, whatever, we just look at this and see the status of it.
I like that idea.
I like that suggestion too. So here's where we are basically. Here's what we've done and here's what's open to do on that particular goal. That's good. I like it.
Jane, I'm confused because what are we gonna do? Just like on each goal, say open or closed or ongoing?
Have a status and then an empty line,
Status.
Read
status
this.
pending grant acceptance,
Like-
status.
Okay. Could we, maybe Eric and I, if you want, we could take one as an example, bring it back to the group.
Easy.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Just do-
Let us come back with
One
how
example.
your form should be laid out.
I really like that.
I'm
It's simple.
that role.
It's just status. It's
It's
potentially something that could be put out in the site too.
Jane, when is the work on the current Mass Trails grant gonna be
Which
completed?
site? I don't know.
That's a question for Dave.
What?
It's just another tag. Jamie. It's just another tag.
You have a completed, it needs to be completed by the end of the fiscal year.
June 30th.
Yep. That's fine. How fast you get there? We'll certainly, I'll get, what you could, on the direct.
And the weather.
Committee.
Okay, good. The next discussion, that was a good discussion, everyone. Thank you. Simplification of future routes.
Now, this one was my goal.
Mhm.
But when you and I were trying to plan the agenda, I suggested we had a full agenda. And I don't think we should discuss this today, to
Okay,
be honest with you.
fair.
So,
To be honest with you, too, Dave, were we going to, at some point in time, this may be useful or not, ask VHB to come back and update the whole map? Would that be helpful?
I don't know, if it costs us money, probably not. I think, why don't I resend to you? And you can send to Dave the version I created, or I worked with
Okay,
folks to create. And then we can go from there.
okay, so
That's what I said. And at that point, you think the BHD or someone should be engaged. That's,
Is that-
it's your call.
for you, Dave? If he sends you the map of his version of the simplification of routes and see if we can see if you think that would work or if it would be helpful if VHB got involved.
So he'll send me a plan
Yep,
and what's expected.
I don't know, have
of
a
me.
conversation.
No, just see if it is a good tool for us, or if we need someone, a third party to create a different version or something. You and I could talk after this, I guess. That's all.
Yeah, that would be great if
Yeah.
you two.
Yeah.
Your list is getting longer and longer, Scott.
That's the conversation, and Eric likes to move quickly, so I think that's a small task.
You nailed it. Okay, so this one I put on the list, this was for me, because the term came, that could be looking at a holistic approach versus a segment approach. And was, well, that's what you're looking at everything, people's,
One trail,
I think that relates to the,
one Hopkinton, one trail.
right? Isn't that the same?
Mhm.
I basically have three segments. We've micromanaged them, that we have from the common to Hopkinton State Park. We have the downtown section up to the schools. And we have from where it's into town to get there.
Yep.
Those are the three areas. Our plan, two of those segments are in great shape, I think. The third one, getting from the parking lot to,
Milford,
from Milford to,
EMC.
EMC is the issue. So that's where we're gonna be headed.
Yeah, and I think you said it. I think that that's the segments, we started to split them even smaller, to your point. And it is, that's,
Did that for our own engineering.
yeah, exactly. But then it
Engineering
is
person,
for the public and confusing.
The
So I think
public,
it's the
we
same.
we could put it down into 3 areas.
But I think that that's B and C, I think is the same discussion.
So is that helpful? That's
Yeah,
helpful
really.
for me.
Yeah.
When we're
Because I
working
get
with the
confused,
public,
6 and
if we-
7 and 3. I go, where the heck is that?
for communication purposes, is that could be something we could work with? What do you think, Jamie? I'm trying to describe people. into-
11 versus 3, but we're also talking about another
No,
We're talking about saying this. North, central, and south.
but don't we not have a determined sound?
No.
No, no,
No, we
yeah.
have, we
We have a general
have,
idea.
we have 7 segments in there.
There are 7 segments in the south?
No, no,
no.
No,
in the
No, there
whole,
might be 1,
Up the bottom.
2, 3, there might be 4
No,
or
I-
5 in the south.
I think this is probably. well,
Right, yeah, so I can't answer a question. What's a clear question? There's 11 segments on the old map. So I just,
Correct. But that, so he's taking, so what are you saying?
I'm saying
North,
take
south, and
everything
central.
from the common to Ashland as a segment. Take everything from EMC Park to the common down through downtown as a segment. And take everything south of EMC to the Milford line as a segment
For communications
for
and
communications. Let's talk about the south. Well, no, okay,
Yeah, exactly.
take the north. It's all on the thing.
okay, Ken,
Objection I have to characterizing it that way, is it implies that we know we're going through EMC, which I don't think we do.
it's just a point.
It's the.
It's a reference point.
Say the school campus.
Full campus extending all the way down to Loop Road, yeah.
It's our plan at the moment, Ken, and whether it happens or not will be determined by all of our discussions.
When you phrase
In
it that way,
engineering.
it sounds to me like you're already deciding.
We've already spent 77, we've already spent a fortune on engineering.
Yeah.
Better than me.
What if,
Force.
what if we call the south
However,
segment
the-
from the
the
Loop Road
south-
to Milford?
And that south section, I think, needs to include both the east and the west.
And that covers that too.
Yes, it's from EMC Park to Milford. However, it's east and west alignments.
and we're saying loop, not EMC.
Correct, whatever.
Okay. So I thought I was repeating you, sorry.
It's part of it, but it's not the only possibility.
No, correct. To your
Not
point.
saying that, we're just not
We're
getting.
just identifying block areas for clarification and simplification.
And for where we put our energy.
I'm mulling this over and I'm kind of liking it.
Oh, my God.
Any other thoughts? Now we just have to maybe come up with a map that would identify that using,
We can take a
VHP.
start and make a variation of the initial version I have.
Yeah.
Again, I'll start with Dave.
I think VHB can
Take
help
that
us.
concept,
PHP.
look to apply it. But again,
to-
I mean, I think we could probably accomplish this on our own, because we have all the materials. I don't think, and then we as a group can demarc, so to speak, the dotted line between north, central and south, going really wide and horizontal, so people don't feel like we're biased towards the right side of the left side of mid, south.
Thing about a meeting is if you do something today, you could change it in 2
We
weeks.
can change it tomorrow.
All right, where are we, liaison?
No, that's really good. Okay, moving right along. Is that good?
Yep.
Does people feel comfortable with that?
Yes.
Discussion?
Yes.
Okay, liaison reports. Anyone have anything?
Somewhere we gotta bring up the idea back to the warrant that's gonna happen at town meeting where, very, people in town that have to do with the Trails Club and TCMC, I guess. Have proposed a warrant item that's gonna have to ask the public whether they want the trail to go down Hayden Road. And, I'm curious as to how we deal with that. I think we have to deal with it one way or another. And, it also kind of relates to the holistic issue, and that's really what the first warrant item is a rather simple one, as I understand it. Now, I'm not totally clear on the political situation here. Is it a clear thing that is gonna get onto the warrant at this point?
Don't know.
We'll get on the warrant.
Yep.
But, we don't know what day it'll be voted on, and it could conceivably get amalgamated with other warrant items.
People can rush.
Too soon for this con- I just read the damn thing an hour ago.
I've only known about it for a day or so as well.
Well, then, let's do it at our next meeting so we can
Okay,
at least get our thoughts together.
It was just because the meeting opened with a reflection on it.
Right,
So
and
it
I felt
seemed
like
like-
I had to speak to it.
Yeah, so I think that's probably why.
So that's fair.
I think it's a hot topic, but I'm fine with, it being
Yeah,
something
let's do it.
at our next meeting.
I think it's a long way before a town meeting and we have time to. I think, I really don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I think. We need
Thank you for bringing it up, though.
Continue. with our planning and our job is to, continue with our progress, get that done.
Another point about it is it is one way to seek public opinion. I don't know whether it's the right way, but it's one way that can be done. And it is gonna be a supplement to the other, ways that are done, namely what Michelle and Dave have been working on. And, I'd say a third part is the public record as published by Hopkinen News and, Pop News and HCAM and all those other organizations, right?
Yeah, they're working together, right, Mary Ellen? HCAM and
Independent.
and the independent kind of working together now, so.
Yeah, actually, I don't know this story on that. Hop News completely,
So we're gone.
they're
Alcione is no word of it.
There's a new.
Right, there's a new owner. It's not gone.
Oh,
Oh, he
it's just
was
a new one.
around, but he's not a word of it.
Is anybody maintaining that website?
They're publishing things or
Don't
posting
publish
things.
You write something in. But Bob Alcione
Like-
is not associated with it actively.
Right. He's not associated at all. Yeah, there's a new owner. Right.
Okay, so,
Can I ask a question here?
sure.
Elaine, what you said about the warrant that's been proposed or written, could you repeat that?
Well, there are two petition articles that were submitted and they automatically go to you.
Oh, all right, they're on the warrant.
You get 10 signatures, it automatically goes on it.
That's sort of-
Okay,
We could come up with a warrant here with this room. It kind of all
Okay,
done.
one person at a time, please. Raise your hand.
Well, actually, to Eric's point, we could have, had we done it in time, right?
Why, I don't think
I
we
didn't think
use
we
a
were gonna
need.
do that.
I don't feel we have a need for, petition.
You guys want a history on this kind of thing?
No, Jamie, no,
No, thank you.
no, okay, no history.
This happens.
No, stop. The difference is that Peter's Lloyd's warrant is a private petition. I don't think we as a Upper Charles Trail would be allowed we're a committee appointed by the select.
We're not going to do that. So
We're not going to do that.
Oh, good. I mean, other,
legally, we could.
Ken, you could step off and do it yourself, okay? But not
We
with
went
this
to this
committee.
committee, when I said that just because it's some of us, we could sign it. And it would become a thing on the town meeting. If you.
A legit,
No town meeting, it's up to you, so
yes.
I'm kind of saying that if we wanted to seek public opinion, we could seek to do it by the warrant mechanism, and maybe next week we should talk about whether that's ever appropriate for for a town committee like ours to pursue.
Do you want to put that on as, so we're,
One of the discussion.
yes, let's ask.
It's a legislative body. It's not a public forum for discussion.
That's a great way. Thank you, Elaine. That's a great way to nail it.
So, I mean, sometimes there can be non-binding things, but they're there to do business.
Okay. Topics for the, next agenda. I'm not sure we've fully answered your question. That's how we can.
We will in 2 weeks.
It's, do you want to bring it up as a topic at the next meeting, and how would you phrase the discussion?
I think we've got to decide how we are gonna react to whatever happens with the warrant. Yeah.
Okay, good. We'll have time to think about it.
Yeah.
Then a discussion, an agenda item could possibly be, discuss town warrant petitions.
The only thing that I want to caution you all on is we don't need 2 or 3 or 4 of us talking about it together. You know, talk to each other one-on-one. It's
For sure.
very sensitive to the open meeting law.
I was hoping that my simple statement at the beginning would answer that and address that. Did that not?
Okay, but we don't have a long memory.
About what?
About what's
Public statement.
taken.
Send it to you again?
I'm asking that.
Well, but I thought I thought the public statement would address.
You said that you wanted, my notes on what you said were that you thought it was too soon to vote and we've got engineering studies underway. Why wait? I mean, why not wait for the results of those studies? And that's fine on that point. I'm just saying that you may want to wait, but town meeting's going to happen in the beginning of May and we should prepare to react to that. Whether or not, I mean, the fact that you may want to wait beyond town meeting, fine, but the town is not going to wait for that.
Discussion for 2 weeks.
Okay, so how are we going to phrase?
Discussion on the town meeting warrant.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Fair enough. Thank you, Ken. Next, does anyone else have anything
No.
for topics for next?
Well, we've got enough there. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Wait, yes, for next time, there's something else finishing, there's something else we're going back to. We're gonna, have we need to
Already
put
did.
this, okay, but this is on the agenda next time.
Yes, so
just
we're
to be
going to
sure,
follow up on,
Right.
our list progress.
outreach.
Yeah, as a working group, we had discussed having it on every agenda as a topic. Maybe not extensive, but at least go around the table and
Right.
see who's made contact, progress, et cetera.
Okay, so
So it's a group discussion, not me, but.
outreach, follow up.
Still, I think agenda,
Okay, good.
All right, next, what else?
Um,
Jamie?
do you want to have the documentation that I can press on the
Yes.
agenda? Okay.
I think Shirley. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear her say that during this. Oh, see, you don't know everything.
Jamie's documentation on,
Comment.
Oh, comments. Okay, what else did I miss? I'm sure that I would like to.
we've got 2 whole weeks to figure it out.
So far, we only have 3 bullet points. I think we can do better than that.
No, repeat some of this.
Well, we'll have, we need another working day meeting, or did we?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so myself. I think we've been given our tasks.
It's one of the Usual things.
What's it?
At a great meeting, we got things accomplished.
Shh.
What can we expect from, Dave? What are your recommendations? As you see us going forward, do we need an update from VHB?
The next meeting would be a good time to start discussing the properties in the Mass Trails Grant.
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to ask VHB to drop in
Yeah, so properties and,
trail alignments or on the residential development properties.
okay,
I can ask them to start doing that based on what makes sense from an environmental standpoint, environmental impact standpoint.
okay.
And it looks like you can apply for a Mass Trails grant in
Next year,
23.
but we need to start thinking about that
Right.
in the next 3 or 4 months, where we want to put our efforts. Okay, anything else? Michelle, we'll ask you to do another update as the town IT makes changes. Is that fair?
But I don't know if they're gonna be significant. See, what's if when the town refreshes their independent site.
Okay, no,
It's not the exact thing.
all right, so everyone has a comfortable feeling with the website as it is. It's kind of, it sounds like it is status quo. It is what it is until other changes. Yeah.
Not sure what the committee would be looking. Do you want it to be a working session with IT on how you want your site to look? That would be something, again, like Michelle, we ask IT to come. If folks say, I would like
I
this done.
agree with that.
I would like this
Yeah.
Because every time we come up with something, say, well, we have to go talk to IT. Well, let's get IT.
Like extra steps.
Michelle knows about web and web design, but we have, it's through Google, it's Google format, so it doesn't have as much,
Yeah.
It's fairly restrictive, yeah, there's certain ways that I've got it.
so I think that might be better. If that's what you want, I'm asking.
Yes, Jamie.
So my schedule tends to be flexible during the day on like Thursdays and Fridays, so I could potentially volunteer to meet with IT in the daytime hours. If
I
that
think
would,
we all need it.
Would it make sense?
or I just,
A working group?
it seems like it wouldn't make sense to do like,
The worst website I've ever looked at in my
Whoever
life
would attend.
is the town of Hopkins.
Interested.
Just make the most,
great.
as you arrive with ideas.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right, yes, that's what I meant. Like, we don't want to be
Garage.
brainstorming,
Just to make the most use of their.
right?
Okay, so now we're back to topics for the next meeting. Do we want to have a discussion on what we would like to have IT
Yes.
as
Yeah.
deliverables?
Deliverables and schedule.
Okay. And then we could have a meeting.
And then we figure out, yeah.
Okay, so, brainstorm, can I use the word brainstorm?
Whatever here you choose.
Oh, good.
Josh,
Ideas for IT on how we would like the website to look, our website to look. Is that comfortable?
I think it's a good idea. I've got another kind of related idea. So one of the reasons I even learned about the warrants was I was just looking to post information to town residents about the Hopkinton Area Land Trust Scholarship. When I went there, I saw that there were posts for other people offering scholarships, and I looked at, it occurred to me, why don't I do what they did, send it in the same way? And what I found, to my surprise, was that there was a mechanism to go through the town to send email to a larger number of people than I knew about. I had never seen that before. Maybe I just had never picked up on it,
Good IT question.
but there is a mechanism to use IT to send information out to a large number of people in town, meaning we could, in principle, use that kind of mechanism to seek public input if we wanted to. I don't know how practical it is, and I don't know much about it, but do you know what I'm talking about?
Not exactly,
So
but
Josh does.
Haven't
sign
seen your
up
list.
lists, and so when notices go out, they would receive them.
Yeah, so I wasn't aware that one could send notices to such a large number of people. I got a note about the scholarship from I don't know, the garden club or something like that myself. I was surprised because I hadn't seen one like that, but come into my own personal email.
That's a good question.
Supposed to sign up for that. It's
Someplace.
And take your thing back from him and make that a category. Who-
Oh,
Do you have to sign up for that, Kenny?
I might, I probably did, but, I hadn't noticed that and, but other people probably sign up for that. Do other people get town notices like?
I get town notices.
You get town
But you
notices?
say you want them.
Yeah.
From
You request it.
Yeah. But so is it?
At some point in time, we must have signed up for these various things.
Well, also when we sign up for a committee, I think it tends to put us on the list.
all right, we'll have it for the discussion next time.
You haven't considered seeking public input to do that means.
I'll put your name on it.
Okay.
It's your baby.
You're looking into it, Ken. It's town notices.
We await your presentation in 2 weeks.
Very good. All right, I think we have enough topics for our next meeting. So moving on to the next,
For January 18th. I make a motion.
okay, so, thank you very much, Elaine, for the minutes. They looked exceptionally well done as usual. Did everyone get a chance to read them?
Make a motion when the freedom is written.
Second
Second,
from Sin. Roll call,
Discussion.
January 18th.
discussion. Any discussion? Hearing none? I'll take a roll call vote. Eric,
Yes,
Bob,
Yes,
Sin,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Skip you,
Yes. Scott's yes.
Ken,
That's good.
We're talking about.
the minutes.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So one of the things that we determined at that meeting was that the question and answers, which I believe I did see the dates are on them, but like that we talked about the importance of having the dates, and I feel like that's relevant to like, paragraphs down, Mr. Parker referred to question number 5 and the general questions and answers. Like one of the things that came out of that conversation was that all the documents would be dated, so that things like the answers that don't apply anymore because of the changing nature of the committee. I feel like that should be in there because it reflects a significant part of our conversation that night.
How do you think we could rephrase it?
Well, even if it's just a plop in at the end that the committee discussed that the Q&As had not been dated. And so by dating the documents, it will reflect the committee's statements and votes at the time of the dated Q&A.
say the committee decided to date. Whatever, you don't have to put all that.
I feel like that's the relevant
Like the rest,
information.
yeah. Yeah.
Because like that's why it should be
It's-
dated.
It's as of date. All right. Yeah, I like that. Put it as of date.
Right. Just so it's clear, because it is
Then my petition.
number 2, like at the bottom of bullet 2.
Bottom bullet. Discussion. I
Follow up regarding public comments
Second.
request.
second on my amendment.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none,
Roll call. Eric,
yes.
Bob,
I don't understand what I'm voting on.
You're voting on the
Amendment.
amendment.
the amendment.
Jamie's,
To add a sentence that reflects the discussion we had about the importance of having dates.
Okay,
attached.
this is
On the
item number 2,
Yeah.
to include the date concern that we have in that write-up. Okay, yes,
Yes.
Okay, Sin,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ken.
Yeah.
Eli, Jane is yes. Okay,
Do you want Jim?
Jim? Oh, Jim, sorry. Jim, you are out there. How do you vote?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
till next meeting.
Thanks
Okay.
for coming.
Our next meeting is February 15 at
Great.
6:30 here in this room. Okay?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to adjourn.
I don't know what chocolate. I don't bring milk chocolate out.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to
second,
second by Sim. All in favor?
Oh,
Jay is a yes. Ken?
roll call.
Eric, Bob,
Yes.
Sim.
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ken.
That's the way that, my only concern is that I understood that we were voting on Eric's amendment before and then we didn't end up voting on.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Still having problems hearing
Bob's
it.
going to, Bob's gonna delay us in the middle when he said.
I thought I was.
I don't know what I'm voting.
Was true. Just for the record.
Unanimous.
Good,
Hello?
Okay, good meeting.
great meeting.
Any questions, Mary Ellen, now that it's too late?
Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of you guys because when you all talk over each other, I can't understand who's saying what, and Dave's like first parts of his sentence drop off. I can only hear the end of the sentence. I've been trying to get a hold of you for 10 minutes.
Okay, so we will try and do better in next meeting. Did you hear
Great,
Mary
thank you very
Ellen? I
much.
was talking,
Promise.
couldn't hear Dave.
You can come to the meeting, Mary Ellen.
I live in Boston. If you're going to pay for my Uber, I'd be happy to be there.
Oh, that's so kind of you.
What a
There's
great
a-
guy.
Mary Ellen, we'll be careful.
We'll try harder.
As
Thank
vice
you.
chair of the bike.
You got caught on that one.
Thank you, everybody, for everything you're doing and the work groups especially. Thanks, you guys.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Well.
Good night, folks.